was like, you know, she a cop and all. She was like, yeah, you know, I gotta go to work now. And, you know, she said she seen dead bodies and stuff. Yo, that's sad, yo. Yo, she said she shook the senator's hand. Yeah, the senator's hand. Nah, the president's hand. Yo, Bush. Yeah. You know, Giuliani was down there too, but she didn't care about him. You know, she said she had to go down there. Crazy, yo. Yo, peace to the gods, baby. We lost 16 of our men. Strictly World Trade. Total, the Port Authority, including cops, 75. 37 were civilians. 38 were cops. You know, I understand. 13, about 16, lost their lives. Not because they were just standing there. Because they were in the operations room and they stood their ground. They didn't lose their lives because they were trying to get out. They lost their lives because they were trying to get other people out.
The New York City Police Department lost 23 men, 1 woman, Marvin Smith.
New York City Fire Department lost 343 brothers. I lost brothers that I ate, drank, and worked with.
As far as the funeral arrangements are concerned, there's not one preparation that wasn't considered. Making sure it was done in a secure manner, making sure it was done dignified. And pallbearers, buglers, honor guards, color guards were notified. Arrangements were made with the mosque, church, and synagogues. The mayor attends, the governor attends, the former mayor attends, the police commissioner. People from all over the world come. It's amazing. Officers from all over the place.
Well, I went to the memorial service. The one in Madison Square Garden. I was doing good. I was able to hold it. I just couldn't anymore. They started calling all the names of the people who were lost. And when they got to the last name, some woman screamed,
"Get my baby out!"
And I said, that's it. I had it, you know?
You have to remember, I've been looking at these buildings all of my life in New York. When I first got here to this building, my furniture didn't even come yet. I had a pallet on the floor, no lights. I had absolutely nothing. All I had was the bright light of New York and the light in the hallway of those two buildings. I called them the twin sisters. Because they were like sisters, the first people I met in this building. My first neighbors. I went to bed my first night looking at them. I even woke up my first morning looking at them. I looked at them every day. All of my life in New York. And for the first week, I could still see them in my mind's eye. It's like I would look downtown and I could still see them. I knew they weren't there, but I could still see the shape, like ghost silhouettes of them. And I could see them for about a week.
I'm getting really tired of talking about this. I don't want to relive those moments. I don't know how to answer your questions. What is the point of this interview? Why do you want to know how I felt? Felt like shit like everybody else did. I wanted to pull my hair out. I was in a panic. I was scared. My heartbeat went up. My face was flushed. I wanted to cry. I was just so angry. I prayed and I prayed to the Lord for answers, help. I don't know. Nobody knows.
You know, People are becoming more religious. Whereas I used to go to church and say, oh look, there's so-and-so. There's so-and-so. You know, I guess now people need something to believe in.
This morning, when I was in shul, prayer had a different meaning. It took a lot longer. Actually, it took a lot longer than usual. I wasn't in a rush to leave, you know. Life is so short and precious. It's unfortunate it takes an event like this to remind us that. I express this with thanks that I can talk about and not be talked about.
Nothing is back to normal. I think we are a society, New York specifically, that has to bounce back right away, you know? Get back to normal. A week later, the stock markets were open. Go to the restaurants, you know? It's hard. It's like a dysfunctional family, and, you know, when you have an alcoholic in the family, nobody wants to talk about it. It's like an elephant in the room, yet nobody wants to see it. You just don't talk about what happened.
Now, I don't think anyone's okay. Anybody that says they're okay, I'm lying. Oddly enough, I'm taking a class on stress management, and I'm reading the symptoms and this and that, and this is everyone I know. This is everyone I know. Now, most people will and will get on with their lives, but it's the people that won't that I worry about. Because you don't know who's going to pop, you know? Just waiting for Officer so-and-so like, to commit suicide and kill himself, you know? I'm hearing about so many people moving out, splitting up, divorcing, having trouble with the kids, you know? See a pattern.
25,000 people are saved. And that's the real beautiful side of the story, is that 25,000 lives were saved.
They had one mission, and it was a suicide mission. You can't justify that. You can't validate that. So it's just a pure attack, and it needs to be attended to. If it were up to me, I would nuke their asses. All of them, whether we get Bin Laden or not, just nuke them all. So we don't have to worry about Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda, whatever the hell they're called. Okay, fine, I know you're not supposed to say an eye for an eye and all that crap. But to sit there and watch them jump out of buildings and go out the way they did, that's unjust. And it's unfair. So it's only right that we go and not kill their innocent people, but destroy the entire terrorism network. Because if we don't, it's just going to keep going. There are thousands of people willing to be suicide bombers. You know what? Maybe we're not as good as we've been led on to believe. I mean, if we're so good, then how do so many people get caught sleeping at the controls? I mean, how do we let this happen if we're so impenetrable? If we're the richest country, we're the best country, we got the top security defense. Meanwhile, people with box cutters get on our planes and blow up our financial district. When you can't even fly military planes over the Pentagon, a commercial plane went right into the Pentagon. Obviously, somewhere along the line, there's a mistake. Or maybe there's a little misunderstanding about how good we really are.
Brave? I don't think there's such thing as brave that is only us. I mean, honestly, I think people all over the world are brave. You know the people that have to live with the bombs falling on their heads? Yeah, they're brave. We, as Americans, we have to live with really, like, little distress. And I think our problem is that we're not too far-sighted. I mean, let's not forget that Osama bin Laden, he was our ally, and we trained him in military tactics. So we're still a great, giant power here. And I think we need to be a little more sensitive of people of other countries and how they perceive us.
Should they build another world trade? Sure, go right ahead. Build it. Do whatever you want. There's plenty of space to build whatever they want. I don't care, it's fine with me. Psh. People people might go as far as the 5th floor. That's where I want to go. You know, what they should really do, they should just leave it alone. Don't do anything. If it was up to me, they should just fill it and make it the biggest memorial you ever want to see in your life.
The families. I can't tell you how they're doing because I didn't lose a family member per se, but felt like I lost family members. You know, we have our good days, we have our bad days. But it's the kids I'm worried about. Because you don't know how to explain it to them. I don't think they have the concept of it, you know? Just one day your parents are here, next day they're not.
The families. I can't imagine what the families do. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard. You know, just going down there and seeing what once was a giant. And it's now just a mountain of rocks and metal. You start to think about those dreams of being shot and drowning and things like that. It's hard to think about. Just try to imagine being trapped under 1,000 pounds of debris and being hurt and being alone. That's got to be the worst part. In solitude. I just hope that for the sake of the friend that I lost, I just hope that him and his sister died together. I go to sleep at night sometimes. I think everybody's had this dream. Where it feels like you're falling. And then you wake up in cold sweats. I don't know. I think that's just a fraction of how they felt.
Oh, Mr. Will Trade, I could go over there right now, look out my window, and I don't miss him. Said that to a couple of people who thought I was crazy. But what I do miss is when they show it on TV. People going in and out, you know, chandeliers, marble floors, the ball area, that part. So to me, it's just a building. It's just there. There's no animation to it. Other than that, it's real. But the inside, people going in and out, that's what made it breathe and run. That bothers me.
Until now, I have not shared my story with anybody except my intimate group. I mean, what are you going to tell me? What are you going to do? You're going to analyze it? What are you going to tell me that I already know? But it's good to have someone like you who's validating, not judging you, not saying why. I don't understand why you felt that way. You know? Just someone to listen. Because we need to tell the story. Because when we don't tell the story, we hide it. We never really heal. These are the stories. They're alive. We have to keep on telling the story.
We have to keep on telling this story.
We have to keep on telling the story.
I wanted to thank you.